So this book is called Make Time, and it's written by Jake Knapp and John Zeratsky, who are some of the product people behind Gmail and YouTube. I wanted to read it because I was curious how, so both Jake and John worked on developing two of the most distracting apps that we're aware of, YouTube and Gmail, and I was quite curious to understand how they were applying the same principles of product design to how do you create more time in the day, how do you be more productive. So the book, how it kind of differs to other books on a similar topic of productivity is, I think in Make Time, it's a very kind of holistic view of how do you set up your digital environments, like your phone and your computer, to be less distracting, but also taking into account your physical environment. It goes into everything from kind of how the layout of the room, where the TV is positioned, all these kind of little things in your work life and your home life, how to design situations to be less distracting and allow you to kind of get into that deep focused state of work. For me personally, I think the biggest thing there was a lot of kind of little actionable things like how to set up your phone to be less distracting. But for me, it was really kind of a big kind of philosophy that runs throughout the book is this idea of making things harder to reduce the likelihood of you doing them. So I think there was an amazing example in the book of how one of the authors sold their TV in their house and replaced it with a amazing projector screen. What this meant was, if their family wanted to watch a film, they had to kind of get the projector out, set it up, but when they did, they had this amazing kind of huge screen, and so the experience of watching the film was better, but it broke the habit of just switching the TV on over dinner, because they had to go through that process of setting it up. So I think for me, it's how many places can I make things that I don't want to do, that are bad habits, a little bit harder, but equally make the good habits a little bit easier. This is a really great book to read as an introduction and a very kind of practical handbook, if you like, to being more productive and not just getting more done in your work life, but also getting more out of your home life. I think an amazing thing about this book as well, which I really like, is it acknowledges the other stuff that affects productivity, like how much you sleep, how much water you've drank, exercise. And these are all things where with Serene, when we looked at how do we make a product that makes people more productive and get more stuff done, we couldn't escape the fact that so much is dependent on, has the person slept well? Have they drunk enough water? What is their diet? What's their exercise? And so I really love this book because it wasn't just saying you need to set your iPhone up in a certain way. It's kind of, that will help, but you also need to kind of get all of this other stuff right in your day-to-day life for that stuff to really have a big impact. I would give it 4 stars out of 5. I think there are other books on a similar topic that I think are a little bit kind of more, it's a very general book. I think this is a great kind of general introduction. It kind of covers a lot of things in a general way, whereas it doesn't go too deep. There's books like Hyperfocus, Atomic Habits, that I would say are on a similar topic, but go into a little bit more depth, but they are a bit kind of heavier.